Well, hello, human beings. It is nice to see you. I'm Jaffe. Welcome to the Gabbin' in the Games for Friday, the 8th of August. Thank you for being here with me as we discuss the video games and the game design, the gameplay, the game biz, whatnot. We'll turn on the phone lines in just a second. We'll start taking your calls. Today, we're going to be talking about my impressions of Battlefield 6, your impressions of Battlefield 6. Let's just say I was surprised. Some of the Ninja games are out. We're talking about those. Some new stuff that's out, some new trailers that are out. PlayStation going third party. I know, whatever. It's an inflammatory way to say it, but we'll talk about that, as well as whatever the shit you want to talk about as we roll into the weekend. I appreciate you being here. A couple goals running right now. You can see at the bottom of your screen. $50 in super chats. It'll all it take for us to get into my second PlayStation betrayal story. You have already heard the first one, but I'll give you a recap, and then I'll tell you it's only the second time. It's only the second time ever that I worked for Sony and I did something that I kind of regret, but it was also kind of cool, and I probably would do it again. So I'll tell you that story at $50, and then $110 if we get there. After the first red door, we open the gold door, and right after this stream, we will check out the fourth episode over on our Discord of the Twisted Metal series, season 2, and I'll be talking to you guys about that as well. No Fat in the chat says, you mentioned something last night about a Terminator game. Yeah, we're going to be covering that on today's show as well. Hello, Aegon the Last. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Rocker Matthew. There's Morgan. Hello, Morgan. Call me old guy. I will fucking cut you like a goddamn motherfucker. All right, now, let's get into this. Let's start with some news. Look, a couple days ago, one of the VPs at Sony Japan, they were doing their earnings call. Everybody's making a lot of fucking money. That's great news. I love that. It was nice to make a lot of money. Well, they're making a lot of money, and they said, but look, man, the future for us is our creative content expression, from movies to music to TV to video games. It's not really about the hardware as much anymore. And that was a general statement about overall, but specifically referring to PlayStation. They said today, I think, this was a rumor actually. The rumor today is that PlayStation, when they launch something on PS5 or 6 or whatever, it'll be on PC in 6 months. But they also were talking in this particular earnings call about the fact that we're going to kind of go wherever we need to go to expand the brand, expand engagement. Obviously, this has upset some people, but fuck them. Fuck them. I don't care. I really don't care. This is what I have wanted for the very longest time. We all knew it was heading this way. I assumed it would come this route because of streaming, and that will be the thing that really sells it. But I think just, the cost of these goddamn things and think about this for a minute. So Sony has to be saying, we have found a new formula that says we are comfortable with what we will make if you own our hardware. Now, maybe they think that Xbox is out of the game, and they just think that it's like, look, man, no one's going to buy their hardware, even if the next one is rumored to be a little more powerful than ours. Who cares? Nobody gives a shit. I mean, some people do, but most people don't care. And so if you want a high-end game console, you're going to have Sony. So we're still going to be ruling the roost when it comes to third-party license deals of any game sold for a PlayStation console, we're still making money off of. Maybe that's what they're figuring, and so they can afford to now spread out their shit and put it on Switch 2, put it on Xbox, put it on PC. I'm not sure the logic behind it, but I agree with it, and I like it because it allows gamers to actually... I don't like all this tribal shit, but the tribal shit's not going away. It's not going away. But the good news about it is we can at least start being tribal and petty about the things that matter, like, the games themselves, and stop worrying about, can you imagine how what is it going to be like? The smell is going to be it's going to be like, when you look at New York City in the 70s and you see how it was like in the early 2000s, you're like, They clean this place up. The smell of video game online fandom, it's going to smell like roses one day when we wake up when all this happens. Because all these fucking man children who are bitching about their teraflops and bullshit, fuck them. I'm so sick of hearing them yapping all the goddamn time. Shut the fuck up, is what I say. Then they're actually going to have to, oh my stars and garters, play the games. And then there's a real conversation to be had. Doesn't really matter if Battlefield is your cup of tea or Call of Duty is your cup of tea, but that's the kind of fight you want to have. Street Fighter better than Mortal Kombat, Mario better than Sonic, Ninja Gaiden better than Shinobi. That's the fucking conversations we should be having. So I, for one, welcome this change. I think it's brilliant. Maggot Chan says, tomato sandwiches are pretty good, by the way, if you haven't tried them before. Well, I appreciate you staying on topic, Maggot Chan. That's the most important part. I don't really like tomatoes. It'll be a streaming war, says Eric Lennon. Although tomatoes have lycopene, which is good for you. It'll be a streaming war. My stream's better than yours. And that's fine. Totally fine. That's how it should be. Although even that's a little goofball, right? Because, just like most people do with streaming services. Oh, I want to watch Wednesday season 2 on Netflix. Okay, resubscribe. Although it is all becoming like, you saw the other day that Hulu's already in bed with Disney, because ABC and everything, it's the same company, but Hulu's going away and it's all being folded into Disney Plus. And it's pretty much like old cable. The only difference is you can watch what you want whenever you want it. So, but yeah, Bold Alpha Wolf says it's going to be content wars. You're goddamn right. Lawrence says Astrobot would sell like hotcakes on Switch too. That's a really interesting question or point. Because as a straight up platform game, I think it's fine, right? I think if you remove the nostalgia of that game and you remove the gimmick of it being inside the PlayStation and you're playing it on a PlayStation, blah, 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 I don't know if Astrobot can go toe to toe with something like Bonanza or Super Mario World Odyssey 2 or whatever, but it might. I have a feeling we'll have I don't think we're ever going to find that out because it's so tied to PlayStation, but a bunch of other stuff. Okay. Nostalgia is so hot right now, says Jeeves. Nostalgia never stops being hot. I will show you something real quick. It's a little out of order. You're out of order, sir. Oh, am I out of order? Why am I? Shut up. It is because, where did this thing go? I'll jump ahead in the little schedule here, but I was so close to buying this the other day, and I kind of held back. But I absolutely, at a nostalgia level, love what Atari is doing. But I came up with Atari. So this has got to be like, a lot of people who watch this show tend to be one generation younger. So this is probably your NES or whatever. But I'm not going to buy this. It's under $200, but then you've got to buy the carts and all this shit. And I'm just like, it's beautiful, and it's such a part of my childhood. And I love the fact that there's homebrew games still being made today for it. And I do think that Atari has done a great job of not just some of their new stuff, but really mining that nostalgia a lot better than Intellivision did. Now Atari owns Intellivision, if you can believe it. So yeah, Jeeves says your cousin had the original. Yeah, I had the original as well. Carlos says that looks cool. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Exactly. This basically would be an art piece. It would sit back there on the shelf. Every now and then, it's kind of cool that there is a game that comes out that's a brand new game that someone has made that's in a cart to fucking play this thing. But, whenever I feel that stuff, I just kind of go into emulation. I play something in emulation, and then I'm pretty much good after that. But no, you're right. Nostalgia is a hell of a brand, a hell of a drug. It is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Hello, Tara. Good to see you, buddy. I think if Astro goes on Nintendo, it could pass 10 million. I mean, I we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's going there, but I do think that you're going to see a lot of their stuff over there. So, no, nothing comes preloaded, Tara. It's you got to buy the actual carts. I mean, there's so many ways to play Atari games. The best thing is the Atari 50th anniversary. Which is just, and they just announced the Namco stuff for it, which is, it's a beautiful collection of not just the old games and a lot of the arcade games. Now all the Intellivision games are on there, but all the documentary stuff. If you really want to play those games, that's the best way to do it. Do I agree Sony will go streaming? They already are. I think it's a question of when it becomes the dominant form. And I think that just depends on, just like with streaming movies or downloads over physical. When the market catches up, when the technology catches up in enough parts of the world, then I think absolutely, because it's the most convenient thing. And, I've been saying it forever, and I never actually thought saying I told you so would feel good, like about this Sony story here, about them kind of starting to put on other systems and everything. It does feel good to say I told you so. Now, that may make me petty. I don't care. I like it. I like it. Bold Alpha Wolf, thank you, buddy. He drops in, puts his dick on the bar and says, hey, Jaffe. He's gifted 5 goddamn Jaffe memberships. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. If you're a goddamn member of this channel of any tier, that means you have access every Sunday to my Sunday, whatever I call it, Sunday Coffee with Jaffe, which is a little video log bullshit thing I do, but it's nice to kind of connect as pals. And at least once a week, we do a streaming game where it is members only to chat, maybe even just to watch. So welcome to the new members, and thank you, Bold Alpha Wolf, for all of that very generous support. Maggot Chan says, I never played Atari. That was before my time. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, again, and what you have to understand is that the Atari response I have is absolutely the exact same that you probably have to whatever console you grew up with, right? There's nothing fundamentally magical about this other than it hit me at the absolute right time. Just like the NES did, or the Super NES, or the PlayStation, or whatever your age is. So I think that's the real magic of it. But Atari, I think at this point, some of the games do still hold up, but very few of them, other than nostalgia, or just sort of like it's kind of like watching old silent movies if you're in film school and you're learning how they evolved the art form. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Eternal, I don't agree. I don't agree with this. Many PS3 versions of games are going to be lost to time if Sony doesn't invest in native backwards compatibility. Ultimately, you can emulate pretty much every PS3 game already, can't you, on the PC? You may not be able to take it and play the actual disc in anything other than a PS3, but I don't think that's. I think most you can pretty much play almost anything that came out. Okay, No Fat says, Jaffe, you're wrong. There was something special about the Atari. There was a small library of X-rated games. Yeah, but that's any system, right? I mean, aren't there were there ever any? I know there were bootleg games that were X-rated for NES, but yeah, I mean, you could actually buy X-rated games that didn't have to be cracked or anything, that you could just plug in the Atari. You're right about that, but I mean, you really want to be. Can you imagine if the only way you can get off is playing Custer's Revenge? You ordered this Pac-Man Atari Left Control. So what are you going to do? Are you going to take it out of the box and play it and then get bored of it after 5 minutes and go, well, that was fun? Or is it like a background thing for your shelf or something, or for your office? Okay. Eric says if Sony starts streaming more, it needs to go out to the portal. I absolutely think it needs to go out to the portal, but it also needs to go out to your phone, to your PC, to your TV, all of that shit. The idea that it just goes to the portal is kind of silly and ridiculous. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn on the phone lines, but before I do, again, we have 2 goals. Bold Alpha Wolf has stepped up. He's been the first man in the fight and said, I will support this great channel with my ducats, and I appreciate it. But if you want to hear the PlayStation betrayal story, I only betrayed PlayStation twice. I only betrayed them twice when I worked there for, good God, with and for them for 20 years. Twice. That's not bad. How many times you betrayed your company? And then for $110 in super chats, we will do the episode 4 of the Twisted Metal Watch Party right after this stream, depending on when we wrap the stream up, of course. But I think we'll have time because we're also doing a Madhouse tonight. Okay. Stop calling you fat. It says no fat 3, or is that fate? How about you just fucking spell your name like a goddamn normal person? No fate. Does your keyboard not have an A on it? I don't understand. Jesus Christ. But I don't mean to call you fat, pal. I'll let you borrow some of my Ozempic. Chris, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, what'd you think of Axel in season 2? It's not a problem. It's not a problem. We're gonna jump ahead to that story right now then, because I love you with all my heart and soul. Here is the love door. Let's pop this up right here. Look at us. We're rolling down the road. We're $2. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chris Chan. We are $2 into the red door. Aloha Jaffe says, Ninovastek. Sounds like something you take when you're sick. Ask your doctor if Ninovastek is right for you. He's been a Diet Soda member for a month. Thank you, sir. He says, hope you're having a fantastically wonderful day. Absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff so far today. Hope you as well. All right. Good to see you, Canadian Connor. See you later. Yeah, the South Park stuff was really good yesterday. So Axel, what I will tell you about this, I almost, let me find the Twisted Metal thing real quick. Hang on. I have it queued up here to talk about. I almost stopped watching this. I almost stopped watching this after the first 3 kind of breaks on episode 1, season 2. I thought it was junk. Like I almost went to the credits. And I was like going, okay, are these guys who worked on this, did any of them work on the first one, or is it a different writer? What the fuck is going on? Because if you have seen episode 1, season 2, there are these just dumb fucking broad, I mean, it feels like Saved by the Bell comedy. Like Anthony Mackie is it Anthony Mackie? Yeah. Reading the what's that goddamn thing called? Reading the Babysitter's Club, and he's like, don't read my diary, and he rips it out, and I'm gonna read it, and you know, you doo-doo poo-poo head, and then he gets in the shower with that guy, and it's supposed to be all funny, or like what I thought was gonna be happening was, because they were going into some of the supernatural stuff, at least it seemed in season 2, maybe they were like, the only way this is going to play, especially with our budget, because they don't have a lot of money, is we have to go so broad and so slapsticky that when we start doing crazy shit like Mr. Grimm, and we start doing crazy shit like Calypso with his magic wishes, people will be like, okay, this show's goofy from the start. I didn't think it was tongue-in-cheek Eternal. I thought it was junk. I thought it was absolute junk. But here's what happened, though. I'm going somewhere with this. Here's what happened. So the last 2 acts of episode 1, season 2, things started to turn around. When they brought Calypso in, started talking about the tournament, like at first with the dolls being out there, and they were like, oh, we're like this, Lord of the Flies group. They just didn't have the budget for it, and they didn't have the scope up for it, and it just looked stupid. It was a bunch of shit like that. But once they started getting into the contest, it started getting like, okay, this is really good. So I stuck around and I watched episode 2 and 3. And we watched those 2 nights ago, and those were fan-fucking-tastic. Like those were, and I love season 1, and those were better than anything in season 1. So I honestly, I haven't talked to the executive in a while, but I should text him. I'm curious. I can't imagine they were sitting there looking at those first, because I wasn't the only one. I was watching it with a group of people. Pretty much all of us were going, this is stupid. This is junk. And then episode 2 and episode 3 was like, wow, this is fucking great. And I don't want to spoil it, but there's that scene where Mr. Grimm, kills that one person, and then he's kind of doing what he does, but then it cuts to quiet. And I think her name is Mayhem, and the car, and they're watching him. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so hilarious, And Axel was fucking great. The inventor who's like, I have black friends, and and he thought he was racist before he died was great. All of it's really, really good now. So I am extremely excited to keep watching more of this. But I almost gave up on it, but because it was terrible. Like I have to wonder what in the fuck they were thinking with those first 3 segments. They could have told the same story without it just being dorky and stupid, but there you go. There you go. So anyway, thank you for the super chat. Love Axel. I think they're doing Axel great. I think I haven't seen 4 and 5 yet. But Mr. Grimm is so cool and so fun. What I'm very curious about now is, because they sort of dealt with Mr. Grimm the way they're dealing with Mr. Grimm, it makes you go, okay, is there anything magical in this? And if there isn't, are people going to be having wishes where they say, I want, magical shit? And how does Calypso deal with it? Here's kind of what I hope they do. I hope they somehow, because Anthony Mackie and Quiet are going to win, right? You absolutely know. I mean, right? They have to, or they don't have to, but there's going to be a winner. But I think it would be really cool if somewhere in there, either after they win or before, we get to kind of see, like, if Grimm would have won, we get to see a minute of his ending. Or if Axel would have won, we get to see a minute of his ending, just to kind of be like, to pay off everybody's ending, right? I think it would be really shitty if you don't get to see everybody's endings like you do in the game. But anyway, I'm enjoying it a great deal. It's very, very, very good. Are you enjoying it? Do you like it? I don't know. We can talk about it. That's what the show's for. Morgan has been a member and a mod 36 months. Thank you, buddy. Hey, Jaffe, do me a favor. Go do a tweet and tweet Team Ninja and call them cowards for not making a new Fatal Frame or Dead or Alive. Well, I don't think they're cowards. I think it's a question of what sells and what doesn't sell, right? What are they working on right now? Aren't they doing Ninja Gaiden 4? Let's talk. Let me turn on the phones real quick. If you guys want to call in, and then again, I will say $2. You know what? Fuck you. That's what I'll say. You owe me nothing. The fact that you're here means a great deal to me. That you're participating in the show means a great deal to me. But fuck you. To call yourself a PlayStation fan and to not want to hear the betrayal story. Let me sweeten the pot a little bit. It has to do with Spider-Man. Yet to not want to hear the story of betrayal, and you call yourself a fucking PlayStation fan. The only real PlayStation fan out there is Jake DeWitt. Who's that, you say? Chris Chan, who gave us our first ducats. Thank you, buddy. And then Jake DeWitt shows up on his big bad motorcycle and says, you know what, motherfucker? I am going to make good. Oh, well, Carlos Hernandez says I ain't going to be left behind. Now we got 55-50. All right, well, look, I'll get to the story in just a second. Let me add up. You guys have demolished the red door right at the top of the show like the goddamn hardcore fans I know you are. I appreciate it. I appreciate it with all my heart and soul. So now what that brings us to was a $50 door. So now we're $7 into the Twisted Metal door. Come on now. You guys are Knucklehead McGee's. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for the very colorful sticker as well, Jake DeWitt. Well, yeah, Bold Alpha, we don't add memberships. It's only super chats. But thank you, though. I thank you very, very, very much for that. Jaffe, Carlos says, how do you feel about physical game collectors getting weird about game key cards? It's getting a bit embarrassing, to be honest, says Carlos. I mean, look, I cannot respond as a collector because it's not my thing, right? So I understand. I'll turn on the phones in a second, Carl. I want to tell the story first in a second, but I can absolutely understand if you are into collecting, why that would piss you off, because what are you buying at that point? A case? you know, what's the resale value? If it's a digital version, you know, every generation makes collecting video games less and less of a valuable, if that's one of the reasons you're doing it. Because what are you going to do? You're going to basically get the digital key, but in 25 years, you want to sell your copy of whatever at a convention. And it's like, well, you can buy it and it's never been opened. The key's in there, but there's nothing you can do with it because the company shut down. So I get it. I get why they'd be pissed, but I'm not really following their strife online, so it doesn't really bother me. But I can imagine they're pissed, and you know they have a right to be pissed. I mean, but it doesn't affect me. All right, we're gonna turn on the phones in just a second. Let me tell you now. Settle in, my delightful delinquents. One moment. Let's talk about PlayStation. So the first time I betrayed PlayStation, I was a tester. And I believe I'm not going to tell you the story in detail because I've already told it. But the statute of limitations has expired, I'm pretty sure. It's been 26 years. But I had very little money. They paid me a lot for being a tester. But, you know, you live in Santa Monica, 20K. So I would go into the storage bin of our games and I would take them home and play them. And then they opened up a used game store by my apartment in LA. And every now and then when I needed food money, I would take it down there and sell a game that I didn't own for the Super Nintendo or Genesis at this used game store and get like 40, 30, 50 bucks in cash. And then I'd have money for the week to eat. It's true. It's true. But that's not so I betrayed Sony. PlayStation. But here's the second time, and I only did it twice. And this wasn't that kind of betrayal, but in some ways it was worse because I didn't respect the cone of silence. And here's what happened. So when Sam Raimi was gearing up Spider-Man 1, like it was just called Spider-Man, of course, but when he was making the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, a call went out to people in all kinds of industries that were like, that made games and toys, board games, bed sheets, whatever. And we were invited to UCLA. And I don't remember if we had to sign anything or not. I think we did, but I don't remember. But it was like, look, you're about to see some footage from Spider-Man. You're about to have Sam Raimi on stage. What we're here for is if you think your company could make something cool with the Spider-Man brand, let's talk about it. And so I went there because I told my bosses, I said, hey, I think we could do a Spider-Man game at Sony Santa Monica. And they said, yeah, go. And we went there. And so it was me and maybe Mike Yam were there. I don't remember. And here's the betrayal, right? So Sam Raimi goes on stage. There was very little that had been shot yet. If anything, really, except some test footage. But he showed the test footage that had the Spider-Man suit, and he spent a long time talking about his vision for how Spider-Man would swing and how it was going to be acrobatic and how it was going to be like a ballet in the sky. And he showed a lot of really cool previs and all this shit, right? And so the first thing is, I went back to Sony and I said, we have to do a Spider-Man game. And so they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And they reached out and it was a little bit too much money. And I'm like, but we're Sony. We're the same company. Why are we paying anything? And they're like, that's just the way it is. It's okay. So Activision ended up getting it, making some really good Spider-Man games. Fine. And believe it or not, I don't know if you know this story, but Insomniac Spider-Man, very few of the executives thought it would work. Only a couple of them. I won't mention names because I'm not sure I'm supposed to be telling this story. But only a couple of them were like, you have to say yes to this. You have to greenlight this game. Because a lot of the up execs were like, well, we're not going to do a Spider-Man game. That's stupid. It's like, really? They're eating their fucking, hat now. Hang on one second. I'm going to get to the betrayal part, though. One sec. Okay. here was the betrayal part, though. So I loved a website called Ain't It Cool News. Now, Ain't It Cool News has since become, you know, the guy who ran it, it's just back in the early internet days. So, but it was all the real inside movie gossip. And I just was a huge fucking fan of this website. It still exists, but it's not even a ghost of what it was. It's a forgotten thing. And Harry Knowles, who ran it, was apparently not a very good human when it came to treating women right and stuff. And a lot of people have piled on and blah, blah, blah. But I wrote these guys because I read this site every day. And when they came to interview me for God of War, it was the coolest day of my life. I was fanboying because it was a journalist from Ain't It Cool News. But I wrote them and I said, hey, I attended this Spider-Man thing. And I want to tell you all the shit that we saw and what Sam Raimi said. And nobody was leaking this shit. So I leaked everything from that press conference for the licensing conference to Ain't It Cool News. Because I was like, and I gave him a fake name and I said, hey, if you use this, call me Uncle Ben, or I don't remember what it was. I was looking for the email today. I couldn't find it. And I never heard back from them and they never published it. So I don't fucking, but the point is I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that, but I would do it again. I would do it again because, no, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that I betrayed the Sony mothership. You understand? But Eric's right. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. I thought I would be like, holy shit, we got some news from Uncle Ben coming out of LA. Sam Raimi's talking Spider-Man. None of it. And I don't know if that's actually how they sourced their news or not. Maybe they were a plant the whole time for the business and none of it was real. None of it was actually leaked, but I'm pretty sure it was fucking leaked. I'm pretty sure it was a real kind of yellow journalism kind of thing. I did leak Wolverine. No, I leaked, I leaked Wolverine in a tweet and I leaked Warhawk in a tweet. But I didn't leak it like that. I leaked it in a way that only after it had been revealed, I went back and showed people the code and they're like, oh my God, you son of a bitch. And I'm like, yeah. So I think I mean, the Warhawk leak was obvious. It was like all the capital letters said Warhawk is still in development or something. I think with Wolverine, it was something like every X letter eventually spelled out. Was it like SNKT, like SNKTT exclamation point, which is the comic book sound of Wolverine's claws. But I would have never actually, leaked and harmed a team or anything. But I did want it in there so after the fact, I could be like, hey, fuck you. All right, let's turn on the phone, see what you guys have to say. Jaffe's playing fast and loose with other people's toys, says Eternal. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. That's what's fun about working for a big company. All right, hang on. All right.
Ready to connect. Click connect to show now.
Yeah, I'm a real world-class leaker, Spazbo. Spazbo, I've been seeing you playing the what's it called? The Battlefield. We got to talk about that. I have some thoughts. I have some questions. Excuse me. All right, here's the phone line. Let me open it up for you guys. Thank you so much. And again, we are about $100 away from popping on the. Oh, you haven't played it? I see your name in there. It says here are your friends online that are playing Battlefield, and your name is there. All right, one sec. Allow this time. Cancel.
You are connected as the host.
All right, are you guys able to?
Welcome, host.
I will.
You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
All right, can you guys hear that lady? Jaffe, how many secrets from games that are in dev at this moment would you say you have? Not a lot, probably like 10 or 15. Nothing. I know a couple big ones, but I don't spill. I would never harm a team. I would never do that. Or harm anybody really. Okay. Here's the phone number coming hot off the presses. 888, I believe. Yep, 910-888-910-7235. Call in and, talk to me. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're playing. Here's what I am playing right now as we wait for the phone calls to roll in on this beautiful Friday afternoon all over this great planet of ours. Yeah. Spaspo says, I did try playing Battlefield, couldn't play it due to something dumb. I'm going to play beta on PS5. Okay. So I will, yes, I am playing Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound, which let me see if I can, let me put the phone line on this other screen so I can jump to some of these things. One sec. I'll just stay on this screen for now. It'll be easier. I'm playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. It's called Ragebound, which I think is excellent. I don't know how much farther I have to go, but I'm really loving that. Played Shinobi, the demo, which is insanely great, and it's very different than Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden feels honestly like you're playing Skyblazer on the Super Nintendo. It feels like one of those classic SNES side-scroller action games, and nothing like not like Metroidvanias or anything like that. It is like a great straight up fun as fuck action game that feels like you're playing a lost SNES classic, but it's obviously, relevant for gamers today and stuff. It doesn't feel like it's old, It's excellent. Fucking excellent. It's not that difficult, at least for me. And I'm not very good at gaming, so I'd like to think maybe it's, tuned okay. And you can tune it up. They do have, one of the things I love but hate about it is it has this slider that lets you change, like they had in, what was that game with the roller skates and the missile launchers on PlayStation that launched day one on PS Plus, Radio Drone or Roller Drome or whatever the fuck it was called, where you could kind of change the speed of the game. I love that. They have that, but it only goes in 25% increments. So if I, or 50% increments, or if I go from 100, I can't drop it to 75. And that sucks. If I have to drop it, it has to go to 50, and then it feels like I'm cheating. 75 would feel like, okay, I'm getting old. My reflexes aren't as good. This feels fair, but I think it's great. Shinobi, I think in some ways is better as a systems, as a, like the motion, the way the moves flow into each other. The art it's like beautiful hand-drawn watercolor, violent art. It's a very beautiful game. And it controls beautifully. And that game is a Metroidvania if you play the demo. And it's very, very, very good. But they are really fucking, they're really fucking different. And I recommend them both, right? So I'm playing that. I got into, and I'm playing, everybody gets into it. It's not a big deal. The Battlefield 6 beta. Now, I have never cared for Battlefield. Certainly the last one was not my cup of tea. No, most people didn't like it with all the tornadoes and stuff, which I thought was a cool idea, but whatever. And before that, it just, whatever. But I've only gotten into multiplayer Call of Duty in the last 3 or 4 years. And so that may be affecting me, but I am loving the Battlefield 6 beta. I love that it plays so different than Call of Duty. I get that a lot of people say, yeah, because it's Call of Duty shit. I don't think Call of Duty shit. I think Call of Duty is fucking awesome. I love the last years of Call of Duty, single and multiplayer. Although recently the campaign in this last one wasn't great for me, but whatever. Love the multiplayer though. But it plays so different, and I am struggling with it because just like with Call of Duty, it took some people in this very chat, it took some people to kind of coddle me a little bit and explain to me the best way to play that game. And suddenly I've never been great at it, but suddenly I can play Call of Duty and hold my own and have a great time. Battlefield 6 is clearly a deeper, more strategic experience or more tactical experience. And so if you're just trying to play it like Call of Duty, it's like, this is horrible, but there's so much to it, and it runs great, plays great, loads in and out really fast. I will say I am, I'm not an expert enough at the game that I can speak to it. And I'm like 50-50 if by the end of the weekend, I'll never pick it up again because it may just be too hardcore for me. I don't mean Arma hardcore, but just like the time to kill is incredibly quick. But I was watching some videos today about how to get better at playing it, and I'm going to spend some good time this weekend with it. I'm enjoying it. I don't know what you guys. Let me put if you've played it. 1's in the chat if you like it. 2's in the chat if you're disappointed in it. I'd like to see that. Jaffe, after playing Battlefield 6, you believe Black Ops 7 will impact the world come August 19th. Well, again, here's the real trick with this game. Is that it's not free as far as we know. Eternal says DICE says the time to kill is going to be adjusted. That's great. That's fantastic. That's good to hear. But so their Warzone version may be free. And even though I understand that Call of Duty isn't free, most people are playing it on Game Pass, or a lot of people are playing it on Game Pass. So I think if they can't come with something like that, it's never going to do, it can't really threaten Call of Duty in that way. But I think it's clearly an alternative. Everything from them saying we're not going to do the goofy skins to it really being a game that has, Call of Duty feels like a 80s action movie in the best way. This feels like, I don't want to say it feels like Platoon, like a serious war movie, because it's certainly not that. But this feels like a smarter action movie, I guess. And I love that these games really do, kind of like Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden. These games have a very different, experience that they're offering. And I think that's great. It would be great. Did I play Hexen today? No, I saw it came out on Game Pass. They dropped it, and because it's part of what's it called? The thing that it does, their QuakeCon or whatever is happening right now. But I haven't played it yet, but that's on Game Pass. They dropped that yesterday. So where did it go? Somebody was writing about Battlefield. I don't know if I believe you. Oh yeah, you're saying SF says, I think there's no hype for Battlefield 6. Nobody's playing it apparently. What are you talking about? That game has demolished all of the Battlefield concurrent already. I think it's the #1 game on Steam right now. I think they have even before the weekend, they have 300,000 concurrent people playing. So no, I do. Okay, you're trolling me. Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Battlefield is all about the larger experience as a whole, not just 20-something people shooting, says Matthew. Yeah. And it's cool. I love that about it. It feels fucking great. And I also hear that the hackers have already kind of gotten in there, which I know is going to happen. And, you're never going to totally get rid of the fucking hackers, but I don't know, man. It's whatever it is. 888-910-7235. Pick up your goddamn telephone with your rotary dial and call your old Papa Jaffe here in the Gabbin' Games hideout. Shut up, chat. No, you shut up. But give us a call. Tell us what you're playing, what you're thinking. 888-910-7235. All right, let's move on. But I am playing that. I am enjoying that very, very, very much. Okay. There are queues to logging in, but not a lot. I've only experienced that once. And it went really fast. And the other thing I'll say about it, which I like a great deal, is that they're really good about getting you in and out. It loads in and out really, really, really fast. And so it really doesn't, even it's faster than Call of Duty. It doesn't feel like you're like, oh my God, can I just get into another match? Does really, really good. Ninja Gaiden previews dropped today. I haven't looked at them. I hear it's great, whatever. I'm excited for it. I am still playing Cyberpunk. No, I was going to give you a Battlefield poll, but everybody pretty much said ones. Most people who have played it really, really liked it. Silent Hill F previews. Okay, so let me talk about previews for a moment. So yes, I have looked at here, I'll show you what I looked at, and this was kind of all I want to look at when it comes to the Silent Hill previews, right? Which is if you go to this on NeoGAF right here, they're all just glowing, right? I've heard that the combat is going to be more Souls-like. I hear there's more action. But I also hear that the 4 hours the press got to play, pretty much everybody walked away very impressed. This says from IGN, they hinted it could be a Game of the Year contender. Games Radar, it's made us excited. Everybody pretty much fucking loved it. So, no, I'm very excited for this game. But what I was going to say about previews is, I did a thing back before Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, where I was really spending a lot of time paying attention to the previews. And I was like, and it reminded me of when I was getting kind of hyped from the previews, believe it or not, for Redfall, Battlefield, Starfield, Redfall, from Arcane. And then it came out and I was just like, this is shitty. So I'm kind of like, you know what? I know I'm going to play Silent Hill F. I know I'm going to get it day one. I'm not really, there's nothing else for me to care about at this point. When it comes out, I'll get it. I'm excited, but it is nice to hear that people are very excited about it. That's pretty cool. Mafia, let me tell you something with Mafia. Mafia is out as of yesterday, and I was so close to picking it up. And what I love about it is that people are saying it's a short game. It's 7 or 8 hours long. It's kind of straightforward. It's not filled with a bunch of bloat. And people are like, the game itself is, kind of generic, been there, done that, but it's beautifully written, beautifully performed, beautifully, the game itself is pretty good. And it's more about just a really good B experience, right? And that's, I just like making that sound now. What are these things called? Mouse pads? And so on one hand, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy it. This sounds great. It'll be a great weekend game. I'll play through, if it compels me. But then I saw this, Game Pass dropped a couple of new things recently. And cause this is another game that kind of is, it's kind of similar, right? Which is Mirage is now out. Assassin's Creed Mirage on Game Pass. And this is a game that is a tightened up version of Assassin's Creed. It's not bloat. It's like 14 hours or something. And I almost bought this when it came out. And then I was just like, oh shit, I bet Mafia the Old Country is going to be out on Game Pass any day now. And so I'll probably just wait for it. I am excited for it. But at this point, I'm like, fuck it. I'll just wait and play it like I'm going to play Mirage. So maybe I'll play Mirage this weekend, but I'm probably going to be playing a lot of Battlefield, frankly. Eternal says, I don't mind that the game's linear, but antiquated things like autofail stealth and a timer to keep you confined break immersion. Yeah, they do. They do. But, given that it's such a quick game, I can, because I hate stealth, like forced stealth. But Game Pass, says Eric, has the effect in me as well. I don't need to buy games anymore. I have stuff to play, right? Which is, again, one of those crazy, one of those crazy things where people are like, Game Pass stops people from buying games. Yeah, I know. You say that like people are surprised by that. Netflix stops people from buying DVDs and Blu-rays. It's, that's how it's supposed to be. But again, I am enjoying. No, Mafia is not on Game Pass, but I think it probably will be. April says, but buy both. You're a millionaire. You're worth 4.75 million. Well, first off, you can't really trust everything you see on the internet. But the second thing is, here's what I'll say. here's a good, no matter what you do for a living, here's some financial advice from your old Jaffe. No matter what you make, live well under your means. Do you know why? Because you will be able to afford the only thing that really matters is freedom to walk away and walk towards the shit that you care about. That's the only thing that matters. Who gives a shit? You own a fancy car. My Corolla from 2003 is in the shop right now, and it's probably, we're not going to pay to get it repaired. But we've had it since 2003. Because it worked. It was a great car. People like, why don't you buy a fancy car? For what? This one works. Here's something else I'm not going to buy, but people came at me. Fuck these people. Fuck these people. People came at me for this tweet. Mark my words. Bookmark this tweet because I'm enjoying, like I said, I'm enjoying I Told You So. Game Pass just got one of the main Game of the Year contenders as a day one drop, right? This is Ball Drop, which the demo I think is still available on Steam and maybe console. And this is going to be that game, in my opinion, that is the Vampire Survivor game or the Balatro game that basically people are like, what, that? And you play it and you're like, oh my fucking God. And it looks like a fucking breakout game. Trust me, it's not. It's got tiny little elements of that. But trust me, if it was a breakout game, I would never fucking play. I hate breakout games. So don't be turned off by the perception that this is like a brick breaker game or whatever. It is not that. It is not that. It is fucking fantastic. And of course, people came at me on the tweet, like, you're a fucking idiot, blah, this is not Game of the Year, it looks like a fucking mobile game, blah, blah, blah. It's like, shut up, you fucking moron, mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging piece of shit. Open your fucking scope of what is good. Open your fucking brain to what can be good. This is great. Give it a play. Talk to me on the next chat. It might look like a mobile game. Who gives a shit? Vampire Survivors looks like a mobile game. Balatro looks like a mobile game. Fuck them. Fuck them. Tired of that. My video game political party is starting to cash our chips in. Games are going to be on everything. People are coming around on streaming. Games I tell you are great. You play and go, I look like shit, but it's really great. Maybe gameplay matters more than the graphics. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Angry Birds was a mobile game, everybody, like that. They absolutely did. And I voted for that to be nominated for Game of the Year. People got mad at me. I said Angry Birds is the most popular video game since Pac-Man. It has affected the culture in this, not in the same way, but close to Pac-Man level. Everybody knows it. Moms, dads, grandpas play it. Little kids play it. Yeah, but it's not a game. It's totally a game. You're just a fucking piece of shit. Now, here's what you have to understand. You don't have to agree with me to be pals with me, but here's what you have to understand. Do you have a phone? Maybe those guys at Blizzard were right. Maybe you don't have phones. 888-910-7235. If you want to call in and be part of the conversation, we would love to have you on this very show. Okay. Let's move on, though. In the meantime, what else we got? What else we got lined up, my friends? Excuse me. We're all getting over a cold here. I will tell you this. One of the reasons I have not decided to buy a Switch 2 is I'm going to wait for these two games to hit. The first one is Lego Party, which is coming out now, I think they said in September. It looks great. It's basically Mario Party if you don't have a Switch. Right? I mean, it's a smart move. It's how Sony didn't intentionally do it, but it's how Sony did really well with Jet Moto. Jet Moto came out in the PS1 era, right when Wave Race came out. But if you didn't have an N64 and that game looked good to you, you got to fucking play the goddamn Jet Moto. Sold over 1 million copies. So I'm kind of like, well, this is not only, I don't have to buy a Switch, but it's cross-play, which means suddenly we're going to have a lot more people who can join online. How hard is it to make a good enough Mario Party game, right? So I'm going to wait, because Mario Party was one of the reasons I was really seriously thinking about buying a Switch 2. So Mario Party's, look at this, looks fun. Looks fucking fun. And then another one, similarly, is Mario Kart World, which Sega's got Cross Worlds coming out in a couple of months. Everyone who's played it says it's great, a lot of fun. The other games have been great. The other Sega racing games have been fantastic. And again, I'm not saying don't buy a Switch because of this. I'm just saying that this is the first time I can remember that two of console's biggest game, a new console's biggest games, there is kind of an alternative that looks really fucking good that has crossplay, and you can play on multiple hardware, and you can kind of get your fix, right? I don't know what that means. Sonic Racing Morgan says looks begit. Are you saying budget? I don't even know what that means. I'm so tired of this. What do you mean? What do you mean it looks... Am I reading it right? I'm a Sonic fan, played this Mario Kart, way more accessible and easier to learn. This isn't out yet. But I'm excited for it. Okay. Anyway, it is what it is. Wanted to let you know. So those are some games I'm looking forward to as well. Those will be out in the next couple of months, actually. Okay. Now listen, the way we're at right now, we're going to be wrapping up this stream in about 30, 40 minutes, unless you guys get those ducats pouring in. We are $100 or so away for a Twisted Metal. What's the matter with you? You don't want to call in? Are you scared? What are you, babies? You scared? You don't want to watch Twisted Metal episode 4? What's the matter with you? You got to be shitting me at this point. You got to be pulling down your pantyhose and shitting me at this point. 888-910-7235 is the number to call in. And any super chat will put more money into opening that gold door to open up the Twisted Metal episode 4 watch party that will happen right after this stream. Now, I watched the Twisted Metal show. It's pretty awesome, says Kyler. Right? Are you listening to DSP here? You know what? Let's take a brief moment. Fint is in. Let's take a brief moment. This is a business. This is how these businesses make money. You're paying nothing for it. You're not a member. And hopefully you can tell that I'm kind of doing it semi-joking. Do I want you to call in? Only if you have something interesting to say. Do I want you guys to pay money to watch Twisted Metal? Only if you actually want to watch Twisted Metal. But what do you, spend some fucking money for your fucking entertainment, or don't. Or don't. But don't come at me like I'm DSP. Think I'm going to whip it out and start masturbating? I don't know. You never know. Let's pull somebody in from Texas. Here we go. Texas, you're talking to Jaffe. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Jaffe?
Not much. How are you? Oh, I know who this is, but I'm not going to say your name unless you say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. I know who you are. What's going on, bud? What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to see, do you have the original Switch?
I do, yes.
You do? You should do Mario Party one day with that.
I have it.
Or you get Mario Kart.
You mean just as like a game, a game as I stream, or play it with members and stuff?
With members.
Okay. Okay. I'd be down for that. A lot. Yeah. I mean, that game, so many people own Mario Kart and Mario Party that we could probably get a lot of people in the lobbies and playing it. Okay. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You going to be watching Madhouse tonight? We're going to see you tonight. We're getting high. It's Friday high day.
Of course.
You goddamn
I'm
right.
always there.
You goddamn right. We appreciate that. Look at that. I got my Caminos ready. Madhouse with me and Miss Bunny Button coming up at 6:30 California time. It is Friday high day. That means we're taking calls and we're going to be high as a goddamn kite. And we'll see you there. Right. We'll see you there tonight, buddy. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye, Jaffe.
All right. There she goes. This is Oklahoma. Well, hello, Oklahoma.
Hey,
how are you? What's going on?
Matt.
Hey, Matt.
I'm doing good.
What do you want to talk about?
So you've been playing Cyberpunk?
Yes,
I went.
Yeah, I played it for a while back in the day, and then I've gone back to it with the hope of actually this being the time that I finish it.
Yeah, I played it when it first dropped on PS4, and I always wanted to know what it was like to beta test a game. I got that experience from that.
I
played it last year, and it was really good. I mean, it was amazing. One of the best open world games I've ever played.
Yes. Now, did you finish this game?
Yeah, I finished it.
How do you do that when all these games are coming out constantly? Is it that you, like, I'm reading a book right now and I don't feel any pressure to finish it other than I'm just enjoying it. So finishing it is just the natural side effect to spending time with it because I enjoy spending time with it. But with most video games, when I finish them, there are a number of points where I have to go, I'm playing it because I want to finish it, but if that wasn't a motivating factor, I'd probably put it away. Am I alone in that, or is that how you experience games? Or like when you finish Cyberpunk, you finished it because you're like, why would I not? I loved every minute of it. Like, how did that process work for you? I'm very curious.
I feel probably the same way as you. Cyberpunk was such an amazing experience that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do everything that I can pretty much do in this game. Like, if I'm not, enjoying a game to the max, I'll start skipping, side content. Of course you want to finish something, but
well, no, but why though? That's what I'm saying. I wonder. I think games have a bigger. Game fans tend to be more lenient about that you want to finish something. Like if I'm watching a TV series and it goes off the rails, I'll probably just be like, I'm done. I'm not watching anymore. Or if I'm reading a book and it gets boring, I'll stop reading it. But gamers seem to be like more prone to finish just because they're like, maybe because it is a sense of accomplishment, even if you're not having any fun anymore. Does that make sense?
I think gamers like bragging rights and it's like, oh, well, you're not a real fan if you didn't finish this. You didn't beat it? What are you talking about? I don't know. Like gamers are so like
childish
defensive and
and
real childish about stuff that I think there's a lot of that like going on.
I fucking hate it because I think it hurts the art form. I think if the fact that the majority of people don't even finish the games they start, there's something really fundamentally wrong with that. There's something broken about that. It's like, why don't we look into that? Let's get a little task force together to figure out what the fuck is happening when all this money goes into these games.
All that.
No, I know it's smart.
It's just like it's dumb, but
it's dumb.
If you're playing Cyberpunk, I would definitely check out the anime that's on Netflix.
Yes, I hear it's amazing.
So much to it.
Okay,
it adds a lot to it, and it's very short, and it's not very long. You'll like it.
Tech's been telling me that as well, and he's actually playing. He's back to playing Cyberpunk. He's playing the Phantom Liberty DLC. So
Phantom Liberty is fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to it, but right now my weekend's probably going to be all about the Battlefield, but we'll see. All right, buddy. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it, man.
You have a good day, man. Have a good high day.
Thanks, bud. There he goes, fellas. Let me get this super chat. We appreciate it very much. We got a brand new super chat coming in hot from Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. You need to play Fatal Frame all the way on stream. I know that's one of your favorites. Let me add this to the Twisted Metal list here. I don't think we're making it today, boys, but maybe next time. But thank you for that, Morgan. What I will say about the Twisted Metal, no, the Fatal Frame thing is, which one do you think I should play? Because I know you recommended one to me called like something with water, the Dark Waters or Black Waters or something, and I bought that and I liked it, but then I kind of got busy with other things and it lost my interest. But if I were to jump back into a Fatal Frame, would you jump back into the latest one, which might be that one, or which one would you play? Would be my question. Okay. 19 Metroid says, I finish all the games I play. Yeah, not even if they're boring. Really? Yeah, there's too much shit to play. Maiden of Black Water. Right, I have that. If you want modern, play Fatal Frame 2 if you want the best. I'll go back to Maiden of Black Water then, because I probably would like I'd like something that's a little bit more modern. All right, we currently have Anaheim on the call wanting to talk about Big Bad Johnny Carmack. What's up, bud?
Hey, Jaffe. Yeah, I'm just curious about what your thoughts are on John Carmack, because he's so influential in the industry, and I don't know if he was outspoken politically recently, but yeah, I'm just curious what you think of him, if you ever interacted with him, and what your thoughts were. Thanks.
No, I know Romero. I've had dinner with Romero a couple times, and his wife. They're wonderful people, but I've never even met Carmack. So I know I know he obviously was very influential. Obviously first person gaming would have appeared without him, but his skill and talent and work ethic really moved things along, and a brilliant fucking dude. Then him going over to Meta for a while was exciting at first, but when you read an interview he did when he was leaving, he was like, it turned out nothing like I thought it was going to be. He really wanted to push VR as more of a social way to connect with people and all this, and he just couldn't get any traction, it sounded like. Since then, I don't even know what the guy's doing. Did something happen recently, or did he make the news recently for some reason?
I don't think so. I'm just I know he was on like the Joe Rogan Experience a few years ago, so
okay.
But I don't know if he talked about solely like game development or any culture war stuff. But it's just interesting when game developers kind of become a personality, in the industry and even outside the industry. So, like Chris Avalon, I think he was kind of outspoken politically on some stuff, but then it's like, oh, he's a great game developer. So yeah, this is always interesting to hear, your thoughts on it since you're in the biz.
No, I mean, I was, but I mean, look, I don't believe, because I know the Rogan interview you're talking about, I don't believe that I think most of that conversation was about tech and VR and gaming and Doom, and because Rogan used to be a big Doom guy, if I remember.
Oh, right.
But certainly I think it is shame on a bunch of fans that get pissed when people who are keys on games they love get political in either direction, because it's like, you can't on one hand demand that this shit is art and it's the next art form, which it is in a lot of ways, and at the same time go, but I don't want anybody that works in the art form to have an opinion that goes against my opinion, right? So I don't have a problem when these guys are outspoken. I find it more entertaining and interesting, frankly. I've never heard that much about Carmack. No, I don't know what his leanings are. I have no idea.
Got it. Do you know Chris Avalon or spoken to him?
No, wasn't he a Bungie guy and he got a bunch of shit? Wasn't he the Bungie?
I think he worked on like Icewind Dale or some of the old Fallout games or something, but he's not, I don't know if he's like Republican, but I think he's been kind of against the whole, culture warring stuff. So he's gotten some, animosity on the web, just kind of an outspoken guy. So just, yeah,
you open your mouth on the web and you say pretty much anything other than, the most boring platitudes, you're going to get people hating on you. So, but I don't really know him, or I don't know what his, I don't know what his take is on it. He was the Obsidian guy, Ravno says,
Oh,
right. And what was his, he did make the news a couple years back. Was he the guy who said something and then everybody was worried about, oh no, he's hurt the whole team because he said this thing and it's going to hurt Avowed? Was that the guy or something? Or
I'm not sure. I'm trying to Google it right now.
Ravno says he was he was falsely accused of being a sex pest, but he sued and he won. So maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking of the person at that worked for Obsidian and was like a writer or something recently, and kind of came out and said something against. Oh yeah, Elon Musk. The Obsidian guy said Elon Musk can eat his asshole. Right.
Oh,
that's what it
maybe
was.
Josh. Oh, right. The Avot. Right. It's not. It's not Josh Sawyer, but the other Obsidian guy. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump, and if you like those people, I guess, I mean, I say shame on you. I think they're nightmares, but you know, do with that what you will. You have a right. You have a right to your political opinion and your vote, and I respect that. But the idea that you're supposed to be like, just keep quiet and make the games, go fuck yourself. You fucking keep quiet and make the games. So anyway, all right, buddy. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, love the show, Jaffe.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I mean, I have no patience for the idea that people are supposed to keep quiet. Shut the fuck up. Talk. Express yourself. That's what's fun. He was a writer on Dying Light 2 as well. Okay, Ravnos. Okay. All right, let's move forward a little bit. We are currently $101 away from the Twisted Metal watch along. I don't think we're going to make it, but you never know. We could have an angel in the last moments. Thoughts on the new Spider-Man suits. Bite your tongue. Here's what I'll tell you. Who's more prepared than your old Papa Jaffe? Look, I love it. Thank you, K-Nubs. I appreciate that, buddy. There's our angel right there. Our cute little angel, our little nubby nub. Thank you so much. We are now only $100 away from watching Anthony Mackie get behind that vehicle and tears some shit up. Come on, man. You got to relax a little bit. No, let's talk about Spider-Man. So I am a kid who grew up in the 70s, and John Romita Sr., I'm not a big fan of Romita Jr. at all, but this is the closest classic Spidey suit I have ever seen in my goddamn life. And so I absolutely fucking love it. I don't know about the value of, because they're doing like, quote, real web slinging instead of all being on a green screen and CG. Maybe it'll make a difference. I don't really care either way, but I love this look of Spider-Man. I think it looks fucking fantastic. Why not Romita Jr.? I don't like his art. PK says Tobey Maguire's suit is better. I don't think there is better, right? I think it kind of goes back to looking at the Atari that they're coming out with. The yellow Pac-Man Atari. I think it's what you grew up with, right? So if you're like me and you grew up with, Spider-Man Romita Sr., and your Spider-Man was kind of this when you were a kid, and you just, this is what made you fall in love with the character, then this is going to be what you love. Is this better than McFarlane's? Is it better than Tobey Maguire's? No, of course not. But for me, this is classic Spidey. And so I'm excited. Machine XP, thank you for being a member for 19 goddamn cockadoodie months. I appreciate it. He says, I'm calling it now. Spider-Man's coming to Xbox by the time the next Spidey movie comes out. I'll eat my shoes if it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, it would be crazy if it doesn't. They should totally bring... Why would they not? Bring it to Switch. Bring it everywhere. I'm excited for this, for that movie. I almost wanted to go back and play or finish Spider-Man 2, honestly, but I'm not going to, goddammit. because I got to this section in it where I'm fighting and they just keep regurgitating the bad guys and it doesn't end. And I'm like, maybe there's like a gauntlet generator that I have to destroy and that's why the fucking fight won't end. It just keeps going and going and going. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I go back to it. Probably won't. And then, there's the whole Wolverine thing. I'm very excited to see what they lost their director. That guy went on to work over at Crystal Dynamics on Tomb Raider. So, who was the director of Miles Morales? So I don't know, when your director leaves mid-game, there's a story there. I don't know what the story is, but there's a goddamn story there. All right, hang on a second. You want to call in and talk live, 888-910-7235. We can talk as pals do. I want to tell you something. Speaking of Twisted Metal, I loved Miles Morales, SF. SF says, I played Miles on PS5, couldn't get into it. It was the first Insomniac game I played. That game is like, to me, the perfect video game Christmas game. I'm going to play it again this Christmas, probably stream it when the Christmas season rolls in. Machine XP says Andrew Garfield's my Spider-Man. I love all three of them. I think they're all fucking great. Okay. This game is coming out in playtest. You can sign up for the playtest. It's the closest I've seen to a modern Twisted Metal. Now, I'm not saying it's the same kind of game in terms of it plays the same. But, I'm interested. It's called Drivers of the Apocalypse from Jussie Kepa, Maine. I think I say his name. You can go over to Twitch. Let me just show you the trailer. You can go over to Twitch, sign up for it. It's 45 seconds long, the trailer. And this will be dropping, I think, Tuesday in their just kind of like test. So let's watch it together and go over there and sign up for it if you want. Are you guys able to hear that, by the way? And here's the second one. So what I'll say on this is there's this other game out. There's this other game out called Fumes right now, but I found it really, really repetitive. This particular game looks a lot more interesting, but it still could be very one note. What kind of sucks about all these games, they came to the conclusion that the best thing you can do for this kind of game is not have level design, which I know is crazy because you really need level design otherwise. But when it's open world, you can focus more on the shooting. And not open world, but like open. Like there's not a lot to get in the way of anything. So Fumes is good too. But Fumes to me is a little bit, the loop gets very, very samey. And so I played the demo. And it was kind of like, okay, that's enough. You know, maybe there'll be some updates to keep it really, really interesting. But from the demo, I loved it, but I'm like, okay, I've seen enough. I know what this is. Okay. Let me check this real quick. Did I miss a chat? I don't think I missed a chat. Whose chat did I miss? All right. But yeah, Fumes is out now. Maybe if you guys want, I'll pick it up sometime. We'll play it on the show. Maybe it's gotten better. Let's see what the reviews are for this. Overwhelmingly positive. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll pick this up then. Okay. Download the demo. Okay. Well, maybe I'll give this a play. That's good to hear. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. The level design is good. Twisted's was top notch. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I would have a hard time doing it without Twisted Metal style levels. But maybe what you do is you kind of put the, you can go so that the car drives itself at times. So you can, if you just want to get in the gunner and shoot like that, but maybe you're slower or you don't have access to all your gear. If I were to make a new Twisted Metal, I would probably do that. I would probably create some kind of auto drive that you can turn on, kind of like what you see in Cyberpunk. And then I can just sit there and focus on really skill-based shooting. But the instant I hit a button, I can jump back into the car. There's a lot at this point. I think between that and giving the cars omnidirectional motion, I think you could really do something cool and special with a new Twisted Metal. So I don't think we're ever going to have the chance, or I'm certainly not going to have the chance, but I hope somebody, in fact, I think there is a guy, the trailer's already come out, that's working on some omnidirectional Twisted Metal stuff. Not calling it Twisted Metal, but you know what I'm saying. Let's see. Oh, well, thank you, Machine XP. Says, great show today, Jaffe. Thank you, Machine XP. I'm having fun performing it, and I'm having fun chatting with you guys. Still can chat on the phone. 888-910-7235. 888-910-7235. And then SF says, Jaffe, I know you're done with game dev, but if you can make one game right now, what game idea, genre, mechanics would it be? Thank you as well, sir, for the super chat. Let me add those up. We get to 7. We're at $17. Getting closer, my boys. Thank you for that. $17 into the gold door. To get the maybe we'll just keep this goal running for the next show. We'll see. Eddie T, good to see you. I've been playing Twisted Metal 3 on PS5. It sucks just as bad as it did in 1998. Yeah, I mean, again, to their credit, they made that game in like no time at all. And they only did it because the management team over at Incognito, or whatever they were called at the time, were being total fucking dickheads about it. So Kelly Flock reached out and was like, no, we'd like to do it with you guys. And they were just, I forget the stories online on this channel, but you'd have to go back and take a look. But they were posturing and trying to be all badass and everything. And he's just like, okay, I guess we'll go make it ourselves, I guess. PK99's been wanting me to, I agree and I disagree. Robbo says Destruction All-Stars could have been good if it was marketed better. It was actually kind of fun, but it was with other launch games. Should have been free to play. It eventually got better at the end, but it was not very sticky. They did not solve that problem. And I don't know how to solve that problem for them. When I was playing it, I enjoyed it. But after like 2 games, even when they did get the ramming figured out and everything, they had a really great update towards the end. It was really good, but it couldn't stick. It couldn't stick. I'm a little confused. Oh yeah, of course. What game? So okay. So SF, I would say this. I would go. There's either like a thriller based walking simulator I really want to work on, which is like a political thriller action, not action, but like walking sim, political thriller, sci-fi thing that I really, really, really want to work on. If that presented itself, or if somebody reached out and said, I have the money, I have the makings of a team, let's do a car combat game. Then I would say, interesting. Those are maybe the two things. Those are the two things. No, not Noir Detective. No, it's like, I'll tell you the opening. Okay. No, it's all set modern times. There's like 3 prologues. Like it's a really, it would kind of be my version of The Stand. I don't mean what it's about, but just like lots of characters marbled into the whole epic story. And, but it opens on election day, and you are in this car being driven to a very fancy hotel in Washington, D.C., and the lobby is filled with people who are celebrating the results and this, that, and the other. And this is all playable, and you go up to the suite and you get room service, and room service comes and there are parts. You have to kind of like dig through the food, like buried in the steak and stuff. There's like parts of a gun that you have to assemble and put together. And you end up basically cutting this hole in the window and aiming at this target who's just this seemingly random homeless guy in the park, like, 1,000 yards out. And then what you've done is you've basically shot this thing into his bloodstream that you then go to your computer, and you're controlling the little capsule, like nano capsule in his bloodstream that goes up to his brain and attaches to his brainstem. And then you pack up and you leave. Right. And that's the opening of the game. And then we cut to 2 other prologues, but that ultimately, it all pays off. It's all it's very cool. I think it would be amazing. Dano Genesis, thank you so much for 57 months, man. A fantastic support. Appreciate it. Says, great stream, Jaffe. Hope all is well. All is great. Appreciate it, buddy. And then I want to say to Fint is in. Thank you for the big $20 super chat. He says, I guess this means $20 less for the OnlyFan gals tonight. I know, but look, you can come to any OnlyFan girl, but you can only come to one Jaffe, and that's me. Well, there's probably a few other ones. The point is this. Thank you so much for supporting the show with your ducats, your time, and your community. Thank you, buddy. That kicks us up to $37. $37. Not too shabby, fellas. We're doing the Lord's work today. Thank you, guys. Okay. A prototype for that. Yeah, I would do it super low tech and everything. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to spend a lot of money. At least what I would do with that game is I would try to make the entire game shippable with very basic visuals. And then if people like it, then we would say, hey, let's go out and raise the money for like a real nice looking version of it. But no, okay. Now look, Terminator 2. I've been very excited because Ninja Gaiden is awesome. I've been very excited because Shinobi, the new Shinobi demo anyway, is awesome. So I'm feeling pretty bullish on some of these 2D games. Here's a new little trailer that just dropped for Terminator 2 No Fate, which I am very happy and excited for. Here we go. Oh, Jesus, just here. Idiots.
The past and future collide in Terminator 2D No Fate, a 2D side-scrolling arcade action game that brings explosive battles, relentless machines, and humanity's last hope together in a fight for survival. Take control of Sarah Connor, her son John, and their protector, the Terminator, as you fight through 15 adrenaline-pumping levels in story mode. Battle through iconic locations from the movie, such as the Steel Mill, Corral Bar, and Pescadero State Hospital, while playing through some of the best action set pieces ever brought to the screen. Experience unseen battles only previously dreamed of as you step into the shoes of John Connor, leading the fight in the future, and Sarah Connor, as you witness just how far she's willing to go to stop Judgment Day. The battle for tomorrow has begun. Terminator 2D No Fate brings classic arcade gameplay to your screens with lightning-fast run-and-gun action, nerve-wracking stealth, intense driving, and heart-pounding boss battles brought to life through beautiful 2D sprite work. Supplies are scarce, so you will need to scour levels for hidden items, checkpoints, and bonus weapons. Grapple with enemies, take cover when under assault, and use the weapons of the enemy against them by returning them to sender.
Have they said if this is going to be Metroid-y or more like Contra structure?
In classic arcade style, each level has its own ranking system with unique criteria depending on the mission. Some require the deft touch of stealth, others the raw power of a 90s action hero. Strategize on how to survive each scenario in the most efficient way possible to reign supreme on your high score table. Play the game your way, with multiple difficulty modes, the ability to rebind controls, and the option to use a classic CRT filter. Story mode is only the beginning of your fight. Many bonus modes can be unlocked, including a brutal boss rush mode that will test your mettle, infinite mode, where you must face unrelenting waves of foes, arcade mode, which streamlines the game into the perfect combination of the adrenaline junkie goodness of the movie and the challenge of a classic arcade machine. Mother of the Future is a great choice for speedrunners, allowing players to experience Sarah's fight from start to finish in a thrilling race against the clock. And if you need a bit of practice, you can replay levels in level training. Use it to perfect the tasks set before you so you can shoot for that perfect run. Sarah, the Terminator, John, all three will make their stand against Skynet. Will you stand with them? Terminator 2D No Fate, coming to your screen October 31st.
Come on now. Come on now. Looks fucking great. Looks fucking great. I'm in. Totally in. Yeah. I'm interested. If you want to be one of our last callers of the day, 888-910-7235. Hit us up. Hit us up. Okay. But this reminds me, though, just so you know, if you have not gotten around yet to, I'm just going to show you two things real quick on Steam. I'm not going to play games, but I'm just going to boot them up so you can see them. See what I'm looking at here. All right. I will not be able to see the number, so, or you won't. So if you're interested in calling in, write it down. Yeah, you can call in from wherever you want. 888-910-7235. I guess I could put the number on the other screen. Hang on. That might be the best thing to do. Oops. Nope. Nope. There we go. All right. If you want to call in, you can call in. Okay. I didn't want to show you. This is an interesting game, Nox Mortalis. It's what I like about it is it's a one-man band. It's just the demo, but it is Minecraft meets a Souls game. It's kind of a neat thing to merge those two loops together where you're trying to level up and build your individual, but you've also got a lot of this sort of Minecraft crafting. But that's not what I wanted to show you, though. I wanted to make sure you saw two things as it relates to some of the 2D stuff that we've been talking about. I'm not going to play this more than like a minute. If you're not aware, and I don't know if this is on console, Morgan probably knows, but I don't know if you've played this, but if you're not aware of just how fucking beautiful this game looks, it's really good. It is Metroid layout, and it controls better. And Ninja Gaiden controls great. Ninja Gaiden's brilliant, but this game actually controls better. And it's just a fucking delight, man. I just wanted to make sure you have a chance to see it if you were considering playing the game, because I didn't know that it was this this pretty of a video game. So check this out real quick, and then I want to show you. You probably already know about this other game. Came out last year. Yeah, print screen totally controls better. I mean, look at the art. It's so gorgeous. Let's see. Now, I don't have any sound right now, but I mean, I could get sound. I forget all the controls already. Oh shit! One hit. Okay, let's see. I've totally forgotten how to play this. It's really not that hard. I just haven't played it in a while, so I don't remember. And all my muscle memory right now is what's it called? Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting though. You're saying they dropped it the same day to flex on Ninja Gaiden. They are such different games though that, I mean, it's kind of hard to really look at it like a flex. I mean, I'm glad they did it because I love playing it, but it really does not feel like it. They're very, very different. So anyway, I recommend. It's really good. The other thing I wanted to show you really quickly is this game. I don't think it needs more contrast. I mean, maybe that level, but if you haven't played, speaking of the Terminator thing, Iron Meat is just delectable, delightful. This came out the same week, I think, that the last Contra came out, and this absolutely blew the shit out of the last Contra, which was called like Beluga Caviar. I don't know what the fuck. It was a stupid fucking title. But this is on Steam right now. I think this is also on console. I haven't found this to be that hard, but you can obviously you can change the difficulty. The story, the narrative is batshit. I won't spoil it, but they've got a beautiful kind of 70s, early 80s heavy metal style opening. But I think I can jump ahead to a different level here. I mean, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, well, see, Eric, just change the difficulty. You're saying you died too fast, just adjust the difficulty. I mean, unless you're just not really into that, but I didn't find that, and you guys know I'm shitty. And the guy keeps updating it too, which is really cool. Anyway, whatever. It's so creative. Look at that guy there. You got like a fucking bio enemy meets fuck. I don't fucking know what I'm looking at. Lots of different weapon types. It's good stuff. All right, whatever. I recommend it. Check it out. But if you want to scratch an itch for Terminator, that's why I was kind of showing it to you. It's good stuff. All right, fellas, there you go. That has been Gabbin' and Games for the 8th of August. Iron Meat shout out, says Awesome Tatum. Thank you for that super chat, buddy. Let's get that up on the wheel there. I appreciate that very, very, very much. We did not make our goal, but maybe we'll try it again tomorrow, and we'll just keep it where it is. So we end the day at 42 out of 110. Maybe we'll capture the 110 tomorrow, or on the next Gabbin' and Games, whenever that is. Okay. I will be gaming this weekend on what's that thing called? On Battlefield, and maybe some Cyberpunk. I'll be doing some gaming or videos. I'll be around. But 6:30 tonight, which is only about 3.5 hours away, California time, it is Friday High Day on Madhouse. It'll be me. It'll be Miss Bunny Button. I see Tech in the chat saying, do we want to do it on the couch tonight? Probably not, because you're still sick. But we'll figure it out. Ravno says, Jaffe, now do a stream yelling at us for not gifting enough money. Yeah, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just reminding you that this is a show that could make money. And its business model is memberships, advertising, and super chats. And if I don't let you know that and remind you that, hey, you like the show, you want to see the show continue, then help us fund it. That's all. Otherwise, we're going to be like PBS. I know you put sarcasm, but I didn't read the sarcasm because it allowed me to have about 48 seconds of content there. I know it's a callback. No. Awesome Tatum. You don't understand. He says, I challenge you to smoke more than 2 puffs tonight on Madhouse. Let me tell you something, bitch. Let me tell you something. The last couple of Madhouse high days, I've been doing edibles. And these get me stoned as a motherfucker. And tonight, last time Becky Boop was on our show, and her and I were, for every, I forget how much money it was, I ended up taking 3 of these, and I near about lost my fucking mind. Camino edibles. This is the sativa, but I've really been enjoying the it's somewhere around here, the Indica brand of this. So all right, but anyway, hopefully we'll see you guys on the show. In the meantime, that has been the show. I appreciate you spending some of your Friday with us. Thank you so much. And hope to see you tonight. Have a great start of your weekend. See you soon. Bye, you guys.